Na 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 moonlight, na 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 in the sky, na 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 you say, na 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 popcorn, na 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 moonlight, na 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 in the sky, na 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 you say, na 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 popcorn.
Hey, Slumpbusters, we are back. We are almost towards the end of season 1, episode 9, different but same. I'm Juju Talk Sports. This is C Money Reacts. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe what you think of the Cobra Kai to this point. This episode is a personal favorite for myself. There's a lot of good stuff going on between the kids, the adults. We open with what happened at the end of last episode. And we have a little bit of a continuity here, don't we, C Money? Want to tell the people what happens?
Okay, so this continuity error, this was about the third episode I've seen this. Sorry, this is about the third time I've seen this episode, and I just noticed it watching it again. At the end of the last episode, Johnny's car's on fire. He beats up the motorcycle dudes. He takes his bike and goes straight to Daniel's house because Louis was so terrified of Johnny that he told him where Daniel lives. So he goes straight to Daniel's house. The next episode opens up and it's in the morning. So you're telling me that Johnny waited this whole time for Daniel to wake up and make his espresso?
You have to be angry for that long. You know, you have to hold in that rage. I know LA is a big city, but it seems like everyone lives within a mile radius of each other anyway in the show. So yeah. I just picture him now that you mentioned that, just sitting in the driveway, just like, that son of a bitch, I'm gonna fucking get him one. You know, but yeah. Anyway, it leads to probably one of the better episodes because you do have. I mean, the title of the episode is different but same. It's a metaphor for talking about Johnny and Daniel. How yes, they're two different guys. They're from two different parts of town, but they have a lot of similar. Qualities, a lot of things that kind of keep them together and bond them at the hip. So we start off, obviously they have that interaction there. They're about to fight. They're about to let the rivalry loose. And then Amanda steps in and says, guys, you're in your 40s. Let's chill. Let's dial this one back. Come inside. We'll make some eggs. Actually have a fun little thing with Johnny and Daniel's son there too. Like, oh, my dad could kill you. Is like, I want him to. Dare. Bet.
I couldn't stop laughing when Johnny asked him, "Do you have ketchup?" And the kid says, "Yeah, you can get it yourself, douchebag." And then Johnny's like, "Little dick."
Yeah, he's just pounding that salt shaker too. That's bad for your health, man. Too much salt can kill you. It's just, you know, this is why you are the way you are, Johnny. So we progress. This leads to Amanda finding out, of course, about the little hit and run accident that we got in episode 1, where Sam failed to report on that incident, and she faces the ramifications. She gets her phone taken away. This, of course, means for Daniel, it's time to buy Johnny a new car. So they go onto the lot. They go on a little bit of a test drive. Johnny gets another nice car out of this whole situation, and we get a nice trip down memory lane. We go back to Reseda, and one of the coolest moments is they actually have the old apartment complex from the first Karate Kid shown. And I think that's a nice callback. I mean, we have a lot of great callbacks throughout this series, but the fact that they found the original apartment complex and made it look good, made it look all up to date is, I think, a really cool moment for the show.
Yeah, that was a really, really cool callback. There's a lot of amazing callbacks with this show. I mean, I like the callbacks in this show because it feels natural. There's other shows and movies where it doesn't feel natural. It's like they just show it to you for nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, it's implemented within the story.
Other trips that they take, they end up grabbing a beer together. And we talked about this, kind of mixed on it whenever it happens, but Johnny as a caveman lost in time is one of the weirder things about the show. So you have Daniel, he's bonding with him. They're having a beer, they're having a Coors banquet and a martini together. And he shows him Allie's Facebook, and he's like, Facebook, what the hell is that? It's, you know what, but I'll say this, for the purposes of this episode, I'm glad that they could just call it Facebook. They didn't have to call it My Face or Book Face or whatever else they do it. But anyway, finds her Facebook, and Johnny's doesn't even have a cell phone. I don't know. I know there's adults like this out there, but I think it's a little silly that you haven't heard about Facebook in the last 20 years, right?
Come on, Johnny. You live in LA. What is San Francisco, like 4 hours away from you. You don't know about Facebook?
Johnny has a nice car. They have REO Speedwagon. That's what they kind of bond over. Anyway, it's a nice little episode. And meanwhile, the kids have a whole different thing going on. Yasmin's throwing a party, so naturally Cobra Kai has to strike first. This is one of my favorite like comedy moments in the show. When Hawk, busting out the fake ID, gets some beer for the party. Make sure that everyone is well lubricated for that one. Anyway, it's a good little scene. You have him just bonding with the store clerk there, which is kind of funny. One of my favorite lines is, "You think I'm underage? That's my kid over there," and it points to the kid that looks like he's like, I don't know, 6 years old.
Yeah, that part was hilarious. And then once again, this is another thing I noticed with this episode. When Hawk shows him the fake ID, it's exactly my birthday. I'm like, what? So I am the same age as fake Hawk, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So the party has its own little quirks about it. Probably the biggest thing is, so Miguel's pissed off because Sam, who had her phone taken away, as you remember earlier in the episode, is not texting back. And we've all been there. This is, again, where communication is key in these relationships. One of the biggest things Sam could have done, just hit send. Even if because there's that moment she takes the phone away from her mom, has it handy, and she has half the text written out. Just hit send. I'm sure Miguel could figure it out from there. But anyway, Miguel's pissed. He's getting drunk. Meanwhile, Aisha and Yasmin continue their kind of rivalry with each other. Results in a new term or a new way of punishing your opponent, a front wedgie, which guy perspective, I guess we can't really speak on that too much. But I imagine it doesn't feel very comfortable. And I don't know, Cris, would you prefer a nice swift kick in the nuts or a front wedgie?
I would go with neither, but the front wedgie, especially for a female, sounds brutal. Like that sounds horrible.
Yeah, but I mean, she had to do it for the gram. And that was all over social media. I do like to, I didn't even touch on this moment, Kyler bitching out whenever he sees Miguel at the start of the party. That's fun. And then I do like, you obviously see the first little hint of Moon and Hawk starting to get together, which I think is cool. Sounds like a full-on anime relationship there, Moon and Hawk. But either way, I love Hawk's confidence boost here. I do feel bad for Yasmin. Not only does she get the front wedgie, though, she has to talk to Dimitri in this episode. They have one of the most awkward interactions I have ever seen in film or movie. I felt bad for her. I felt bad for the bully. Thank you, Dimitri. You made me do this.
Dimitri. Dude, if Dimitri talked to me, I think I'd feel bad for myself.
Yeah, I'm surprised she just didn't do full-on hard here. She might have wanted to front wedgie herself after that conversation just to get out of there.
If Dimitri was next to me and he was trying to talk to me, I'd be like, bro, just get away from me. Leave me alone.
But let's dissect what he said. Yeah, talking to women is so intimidating. I think I might even be intimidated by my mom. As like, okay,
like, what?
I wonder if who's writing Dimitri's dialogue at this point. Who does this? How do you get in the mindset of someone that awkward? I feel a little awkward sometimes, and I can't even like fathom Dimitri's dialogue.
I feel like the writers, when they write for Dimitri, they're like, what can I say that would make sure that I never, ever get laid?
Yeah, I think they just look at themselves and they're like, say his dialogue to the mirror, and if they cringe, that's when they know, oh, that's a Dimitri line right there. That's a Dimitri line. Money, bank it. Either way, well, off of Dimitri. I'm done with Dimitri for this episode. Finally, so Robby managed to break Sam out of her own personal quarantine, brings her to the party, and this is where you got a full-on blacked out Miguel. He's already pissed. He's ready for a fight, and it just so happens he gets to see Robby, the same guy who was having dinner with his girlfriend, when he can't even have dinner with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And naturally, he's got to feel some sort of way about it. I get it. Sam steps in there. Sam kind of takes the blow. I think at that point, you kind of just have to let those guys kind of do their thing. They'll get in between two guys that are trying to get it at each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either way, Sam takes a hit. That's it for their relationship. Done. end of another relationship, though, at the end of this episode, because as Johnny and Daniel are finally getting together, they're finally having fun. They're talking about doing a Rocky 3 moment. You know, the I didn't hear no bell, ding, ding, Rocky 3.
Yeah.
As they walk into Miyagi-Do dojo, there's Robby. And Johnny, much to his surprise, is like, why is my son in your house? Again, we all live within a block of each other, basically. So why is my son within your house? And that causes a big old fight. It's a shame because we finally got hints that Johnny was going to finally turn around in his relationship with Robby. And yeah, then that. Anyway, there's a lot going on in this episode. This is probably one of our longer reviews, but I will say out the gate, my rating for this, I'm going to go 4-star warning track power. Again, knock it for a little bit of continuity errors, a little bit of like, oh, that's a little too coincidental. But there's a lot of fun moments in here. There's a lot of good moments that I think when you look back and watch the series, make this episode one of the more rewatchable. So, let's go 4-star. Let's go warning track power.
I'm going to go warning track power too. I like the episode a lot. Definitely way better than the last one. This one is like really, really starting to set everything up. Yeah, I really like this episode a lot. I would say warning track power as well.
Okay, guys, if it was a home run for you, let us know in the comments. You know it would really be a home run if you hit that subscribe button, if you leave a like, and follow the rest of our Cobra Kai series. We have all the previous 8 episodes. We got more to come. We're ready for season 3. Are you? We'll see you next time.